Alrighty, so we've got some new dev app sort of like leaks and everything like that. If you don't already know what this is, basically every once in a while there's a guy who has access to the dev app, which is basically where they sort of push a lot of things to the game early. It's like a developer build where they can kind of test out things and experiment with stuff and mess around with it before it goes actually like live on servers and everything like that. So a lot of this stuff can be taken with a grain of salt. Some of it might not even make it to the game or not. It's really a huge toss up. It's just kind of a testing ground for the developers. So we're going to look at what they've got today. So he says unknown races, all vampires from the April beta. Apparently there are 3 tags with no name. Demon race, we have Esterosa, Gother, Grey Road, Cusack, and another no name. I'm kind of hoping the more I see this demon race one, well, I mean, I guess it is demon race Gother, so it's probably going to be like the real Gother if you're aware. I kind of hope that they make another Gother with I can't remember what season it is, his like commandment outfit. If I'm not mistaken, during one of the JP live streams or something like that, they had a Gother with that outfit on, but we don't have that outfit in the game as far as I know. So I kind of hope that they add a commandment style Gother at some point. I think that would be really, really cool. There's also been a lot of leaks and stuff like that of Cusack lately. If I'm not mistaken, we pretty much have already seen all 3 of his outfits and his animations and stuff like that. So Cusack seems to be probably the next character that they have closest to done, I think. Maybe, I don't know, obviously you will just have to see on that one, but I think Cusack is probably going to be the next big like demon character that maybe gets released. Human race, we have Easton, Shin, Veronica, Hauser, Dreyfus, Hendrickson. I think we had all of this stuff pretty much last time. Under human race, we do have Margaret here, and then we have goddess race Margaret as well, so I'm assuming this is just going to be regular Margaret without Ludociel. And then we also have human race Escanor. I don't think that we had Escanor in the last one, so that is pretty interesting. I'm really hoping that it's a small Escanor. I mean, it could just be like a baseline, like normal, like beefed up blue Escanor, because we already have the one Escanor, but we don't have a regular Escanor that's blue. If we get like a wimpy Escanor, I think that would be really fun, but I don't know exactly what their opinions on doing that is, or if they're really like going to consider it. This is pretty interesting though. Training cave, add crystal level 4. So I can only assume, which right now the way that they have it set up in Training Grotto is if you can beat 3 of the level 3 crystals, it works out perfectly to give you, sorry for Discord noises, it pretty much works out perfectly to where you get to an amber crystal every 3 level 3 crystals. So I don't know, maybe it'll let you like face more amber crystals to get potentially more engraving stones, etc. But I don't know, we'll have to see with that. I think that they're kind of just playing around with the idea of it and everything like that. We don't know if it's actually going to get to the game or not. Final boss, some important story characters will be added. So we've already kind of seen with the newer final boss that we just got rid of, which was I think it goes away in like 2 days or so, but it's Dreyfus and Hendrickson, or Fraudrin. So I think that one's kind of interesting. Obviously they've done the trio where it's Gilthunder, Hauser, and Griamore, and then they've done one with Taizu and Twigo and Waylo. I don't know. They obviously could keep going and making interesting final bosses. They're currently working their way through doing all of the commandments and such, which I think is really, really cool. So maybe we'll end up getting some more interesting final bosses and stuff like that, which is always cool, I guess. I just really like the costumes and stuff like that you get from final boss. Lately, though, the final bosses have been pretty easy, which I guess isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, because you want players to be able to finish them and be able to do them pretty easily, so that way you can farm the stuff in them and not have to just like kill yourself over it, like over just a period of time. But yeah, interesting. Note, all this information is from the developer app. This changes every day. So yeah, he always tries to put disclaimers and stuff like that. This one is also very interesting. In-game changes. A week ago, I made a questionnaire and I sent your suggestions and they answered me. They are working on this, and these are the highlights. So higher player level 90. I think this is really nice. I always like when they, sorry, I keep hitting that fork. I always like when they add new player levels and stuff like that. It just gives me something to sort of like grind out and work on just passively over time. And I don't know, I kind of like the player level for some reason. There's nothing really like specifically good tied to it or anything like that, but yeah, I don't know, new player level's fine. Add more things to play with friends. I think this is a really important one. Obviously, just doing demons and stuff like that it gets kind of old. PvP might get kind of old for some people, just like playing with their friends. So more game modes to play with your friends could honestly be pretty interesting. I'd like to see where they kind of bring play into that. I'd like to see what they do with it. This one is pretty interesting as well. Add a skin set that gets one SSR pendant, hammer, or engraving stone. And he's saying kind of like the Gother skin drops anvils. So if you're unaware, the Green Gother Halloween skin you get from Green Gother, and then they normally release, whenever they do Green Gother stuff, they'll release the weapon and the hair piece that goes along with it. And if you use that entire set together and you run stuff in Fort Solgris up to 10 times a day, you'll drop one anvil for each stage completed. So if they do something like this where you can drop extra SSR pendants, hammers, or engraving stones, I think that would be really, really great. Obviously, the big downside there is you're going to have to spend diamonds on a whole like outfit, I would assume, unless they release it where, kind of like Gother, you have to pull the character to get the like outfit piece of it. And then you have to get the cosmetic and the weapon separately, like through like the Sacred Treasure Shop or whatever. So you'd have to buy like the actual like pieces to the costume. That might be okay, I guess. It just depends. I mean, obviously you don't want to force people to summon on a character that they don't give a shit about, but you know, it happens. So this one is pretty cool. Viewer mode in PvP. I think it would be really neat for like tournaments and stuff like that if there was like a spectator mode, which I think would kind of help, I guess, with just like expanding upon like the, I don't know, PvP scene in the game, or like helping with like tournaments and stuff like that. I think that would be really neat. Increase daily tasks. He says they will probably work on this. Obviously, we just got the new set of daily login rewards and stuff like that. So I think he's talking about the daily missions that you normally get, that they reset on, you know, reset each day. And I don't know, maybe they're going to end up tweaking those a little bit more. The missions itself, as far as I'm concerned right now, the missions don't seem terrible. Like, they're fine. I don't have any issues with any of them specifically. Maybe the knighthood boss one is a little much for some players, because if they're not in a knighthood or whatever, but there's really no reason to not join a knighthood. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy to join one, but I don't know, maybe people don't want to do that, or they're having problems with it, or whatever the case may be. So yeah. And then the last one is added more ways to buy awakening coins, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, I don't seem to have too many issues getting super awakening coins for the most part. I feel like a lot of the events and stuff like that end up dropping a pretty decent amount of them. And just like, I mean, you obviously get a broken clock every week. I did do super awakening coin farming a little bit through the dungeon this week, and it is still just as dumb as ever. I just cannot stand the way that is set up. I honestly, instead of adding more ways to buy them, they really should just rework the super awakening coin dungeon. It's absolutely ridiculous how dumb it is. Like, increase the timer on it or something. I don't know. It's just awful right now. So I don't know. Obviously, they're planning on working on some of the stuff in game. Obviously, there's some new characters and stuff like that maybe in the works that are going to be coming out to the game soon. But yeah, let me know what you think. Obviously, some of these are kind of new compared to last time. There weren't nearly as many characters and stuff like that in the last one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Goddess Margaret. Obviously, I think Ludocio is probably my favorite character in the entire like franchise kind of so far. Maybe not, I don't know. I do really like Assault Mode Meliodas, but I don't know. Cusac's honestly pretty cool. Hopefully they do end up doing something with Grey Road and everything like that, and with these other characters. So it looks like, you know, they to have a pretty decent amount of stuff planned, new characters and, you know, content and stuff like that. So we'll have to kind of see how it unfolds, see what out of any of this kind of stuff actually gets added to the game. So like I said, take it with a grain of salt, but that's pretty much it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.